you know, these fires just jump the homes, and we're starting to see your other neighbor's house, or what's already caught on fire in the back. I can see that.
Which one? This one?
Yes, right here. The one that's a facade is still standing here in the front. Just if you're just tuning into Fox 11, we're on Kenrose Circle and Parkmore Road, the 5400 block. We're talking with, I'm sorry, what is your name?
Melanie Turquand.
Melanie has chosen to stay behind or to come back to try to protect her home. Her husband is actually up on the roof, as are many.
I'm sure they're watching over us, no doubt.
And now the sad news that they've lost their home.
Oh my God, look at that. Yes.
So what is burning these people's houses? I mean, what exactly is burning them? Because they don't have any foliage, they don't have any stuff out there. Is it just giant embers that are running through the sky, or what are we experiencing?
And they had one over that area. I thought, well, that's just strange.
Wait. You're saying that PG&E was, let me just interrupt you for a sec so people can understand. This was the Tuscan Golf Course?
Yes, yeah, yep.
Okay, the Tuscan Golf Course is right below you in Paradise, and you're saying that you
Correct.
saw them setting up, as others have said, PG&E was setting up way back in June and July?
Yes, it might even have been earlier.
And you drive by there every day
So,
and you were
and
looking at it?
Yep, and yeah, we grow and get bigger. And I also have another friend who worked for PG&E, and I was speaking with him about it, and he goes, well, don't say nothing, but Homeland Security is there. And I'm like, excuse me?
Whoa, Homeland Security. Well, this area of California that she's describing was a key fire situation that happened in 2003, and Homeland Security was involved as far back as 2003, but not recently. So why was Homeland Security in the area engaged in power line work with PG&E months, if not a year beforehand? Very suspicious. Very suspicious. Anyway, the theory that directed energy weapons could be have been used in the Paradise fires is still sitting right fresh there. It's like a cauterized but fresh wound. And we're still trying to figure this out. We still don't have any results from any arson investigations in California. Nothing, which in and of itself is suspicious. Now, this clip on the screen was the day of the event, and they had in Paradise, ironically, they'd used the letter 666 on the newscast to determine the amount of rainfall expected. It's kind of an odd coincidence that was brought up in this video. But the thing about this video that's most disturbing is the actual photographs of blue light against the trees that were taken at the event. That's a blue light seen at the event against the trees, and you'll see as it progresses that it's a whole lot of lights. You can see the blue iridescent ultraviolet look from the directed energy weapon against the trees. And there's an example of the rays that were photographed too at this event. So they've got more than enough evidence to conclude something definitely hit temperatures close to 3,000 degrees. And you just can't make this stuff up, folks. You just can't make it up. This is all very, very potentially dangerous to all of us. So yeah, that's Conspiracy 101 in a nutshell. And many people can go off on their shows and say whatever they want.
Having their rights denied, being called a racist, being walked on, watching their tax dollars.
Or you can just, tune in to the reality that we've got to do something politically as a nation. We have to come together and center the political spectrum to uproot the very evil that has taken deep roots in the two parties. The Democrat and Republican parties have been bought off, flat out. No question about it. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Seriously. And we know that these people are completely on the take. Look at Don Kerry. I mean, that guy's the richest of all ex-senators in the history of our government. And he continues to invest in countries that we're involved in, like Iran, along with Susan Rice. And look at the money grab Donald Trump and his friends, his cronies are involved in. I spent the night reading a article on Paul Manafort, and it was pretty intense. The Democrats are looking at the money. They've petitioned over 80 people for their data and information. But Paul Manafort was reading money out to guys that were working in Trump's cabinet, like a man named Gay, who was doing a lot of his work on the side and was paid much later. Campaign, his name was Lori Gay, a friend of him, is a lobbyist of Manafort, friend of Manafort's. Yeah, Trump had a lot of weird people working for him in this campaign. Gay, Lawrence Gay, Larry Gay, Lowry Gay, David Pecker. You got to wonder if these names are real, But the money itself was nothing really compared to what I saw. No. Hang on. In a recent assessment, I went back and found information on Trump. And I pulled up this article from my old notes. I don't know if you guys remember when I did a complete reveal of Trump's inauguration, but we record all of our notes in every single link that we have in our link library. So I was able to pull back this serious case of money movement that the Democrats aren't even looking at. Trump inaugural committee paid $26 million to a friend of the First Lady, Melania Trump. What was that all about? How come there's $63 million that Trump got that he didn't buy TV ads with? So this is a huge number compared to the numbers that the Democrats are looking at with Manafort. Stephanie Wilson Wolkoff, a New York party planner and friend of the First Lady, Melania Trump, was paid $26 million by the Trump inaugural committee. Unbelievable. Yeah. Okay, I think we've lost track of the chat here, so I'm going to get back into the chat, and obviously this is an interesting link. If you want to further look into this, let me get to you in the link room. Okay, I'm going to look at the upload dates on these images. Okay, Scissorfice going through a whole series of libraries on the Ethiopian attack. All right, I'll look at that in just a second. But this is interesting. Look at all the money that Trump gave, $26 million to a friend of Melania. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, we've got a lot more investigations to do about all this money movement that went on during Trump's post-inaugural date. But the Democrats really just scratched the surface. And now Nancy Pelosi is saying, why bother? Why bother impeaching him? What's the difference? Unbelievable. They just want him to continue profiting from. Look at this story I pulled up as well. I don't know if you remember this, but this is Orgy Island, the fully equipped dentist chair and close-ups of young girls' backsides and Teddy by his bed. Creepy images from Orgy Island. The Jeffrey Epstein thing that's happening. All right. The raid on the Intercoastal Waterway in Palm Beach took place in 2005. But from it, they pulled up all kinds of weird pictures of Jeffrey Epstein's the inner workings of his Orgy Island. Yeah, this is another link I'm going to give you guys, because I have a kind of a thing going on where I lose links all the time in my mind, and not that I'm forgetting anything, it's just that there's so much data going on in our show that some of the best links get lost. So I have to pull them back and retrieve them every once in a while. We're not a band, Meta. Sorry. Welcome, Meta. But yeah, there's some weird stuff like the statues in his Orgy Island location here. Photos and items at Epstein's home show in intimate detail just how depraved was Epstein's liking for girls, the younger the better. Teddy bears. A fantasy dentist chair. That's pretty weird. Fantasy dentist chair. Equipped with dental work. Dentist cart is complete with what appears to be drills, a lamp, and other instruments. Now, what the hell is that for? You know? And why are we not looking deeper into Jeffrey Epstein's connection to this Acosta judge? So all these stories that keep getting diverted in the media, you have to look back at some of these original pictures and really take a look. It's just crazy, all the stuff that's being kind of pushed away by the mainstream media. I don't know. I mean, to do dental record, why would a dentistry chair be at Orgy Island where the teenage prostitutes? I don't get this. They have certain people that like girls with braces on.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the. I mean, they've got a fetish for braces or something. Okay. Apparently that didn't play out. So.
This is one of my favorite pieces.
Well, apparently that doesn't play, so I'm not going to worry about it. Right, and this story that I had way back in the old days, many people don't realize that Trump is pretty hated in the New York community still because he doesn't pay any of his bills. I mean, he has a track record for not paying anybody. Marla Maples, the entire catering job, he jilted the caterer for $350,000. The caterer went to him, she couldn't pay any of her vendors, and she said, "We need to get paid," and he said, "Just doing the wedding at the Trump wedding was payment in and of itself. Just doing a Trump wedding was payment in and of itself." I mean, these are really serious stories that if you are looking at his history, who could miss this one? Yeah. I'm trying to give you guys some links to some fun stuff to read if you are actually thinking. And of course, let's not forget the archive of the Trump International Escort Service. That's a real winner for you. Check that out. Now, they used the same logo as the Trump Plaza and during that time period around 1999. This was pulled up through archive.org. But Trump never sued them for using their logo. There's no lawsuit on file against them using their logo, yet he claims he wasn't a representative of this escort service. Okay, you've got Wawa fresh food hoagies. Okay, let's go to Wawa.com for a second. Wawa, wow. Okay, and you're trying to promote them, and why? Because that's all you can eat without getting an allergy attack, or what? Wawa. I'm sorry, Ting Time Bag. Thinking is not part of your character, of course. And why are you looking at food now? Oh, I'm sorry, I hit you with too much information. We will now divert the show to pictures of food. Please remain calm. You have been induced by too much intelligent thought over the past 5 minutes. We will now show you pictures of food. Bah. Oh, look at this. Yeah, chat room celebrity talked about this. I don't trust this. This looks like a ledge that I wouldn't stand on. But this unique design is something that itself compared to putting together a jigsaw puzzle in the sky. Somebody is promoting this idea. It's the tower at 30 Hudson Yards, set to open later this year. It's going to be a platform hanging over the edge. I don't know, I wouldn't go out there. I stood on a platform in between two hotels in Vegas. Okay. The FDA now allows genetically engineered Frankenfish salmon to be imported to the U.S. So the FDA says, hey, we don't care if this crossbreeds with all the other food that you're eating. Bring it! Why test anything when the Fraud and Death Administration can just okay the sale of this stuff? Americans are one step closer to seeing genetically modified salmon at their grocery stores. The FDA announced Friday that it's lifting an import alert that stopped genetically engineered salmon from entering the United States. The salmon, called Frankenfish by some, won FDA approval in 2015. The first approval of a genetically engineered animal intended for food. The FDA, after years of review, had deemed food from the Aqua Advantage salmon safe to eat in 2015 and said that there is no biological difference between these salmon and non-genetically engineered salmon. But Congress blocked the FDA in 2016 from allowing the fish to be sold in the U.S. until its finalized labeling guidelines to inform consumers the product was genetically engineered. But the FDA then went ahead and implemented the import alert. Yeah. They're going to now allow Aqua Advantage salmon eggs produced by Aqua Bounty to be imported into the company's land-based facility in Indiana. The Frankenfish is born. Wow. Better get used to eating weird fish. Well, let's be clear. And this story we should feature again. This is very important. Since the outbreak of conflict in Syria, Israel has awarded drilling rights for the oil and gas in Israeli-occupied Syria to a company called Genie Energy. Guess who's on the board? Yeah, that's right. Dick Cheney, Jacob Rothschild, Rupert Murdoch, James Woolsey, the former ex-CIA director, he wants in on the bounty. Bill Richardson, ex-energy secretary, and Larry Summers, ex-head of the U.S. Treasury. Michael Steinhardt, Wall Street trader. Yeah. That's why the Syrian war is good for business, at least as far as these characters are concerned. Yeah, so they don't want to let go. So Trump's idea of stealing my idea it hasn't really played out. We haven't pulled out of Syria yet, but we're definitely on the way. No, Cheney had, I think, his fourth heart installed. You just want a Wawa. Okay, you want your Wawa. You don't have a Wawa. I wouldn't talk about food with anybody who's dealing with weight issues. Miss Anthrop talks about food all the time. Some of us are battling our desire for food. Like looking at that stuff doesn't exactly help us.
Go to fund all kind of drug sales, prostitution, illegal immigration.
I hear you, brother. I know what you're saying. AML is under attack. Yeah. Now, first of all, you have to know what AML is. His name is Anaconda Malt Liquor, and he's getting his site kicked down, and here he is on 153news.net pitching his story.
I uploaded a video talking about the precarious predicament my YouTube channel Anaconda Malt Liquor 15 is in after receiving some bullying guideline strikes and some restricted stuff. They had removed the AML variety show video, you may recall. They had also removed the Thousand Oaks Phony Fake Show Awards Show, California edition video. And I had also told you how they put strange digital imagery in a restricted thingo.
Well, he's battling YouTube censors, and we'll be featuring his video later tonight, too. Yeah, we got a lineup of stuff coming on 153. And whenever you want to look at our links on 153, like I said earlier, we do have a Flipboard set up to all of our 153 links right here. And I'm not trying to take anything away from 153new.net by posting their link here that I put together a lot of great videos, but I want people to be able to access all the videos we get on our show, and here's a link to it. And I keep all of these in the link library. Thank you. And oh, Sandy Hook revisit. Wow. Good. We got a 3-minute video here. Mark Howitt extensive documentary done in 2013. We'll try to squeeze some of that in tonight. Maybe we'll do it in a couple nights. That'll be good. Really good, close, detailed work on Sandy Hook. If you're still interested in the story that now is being hushed up because of Alex Jones, making a mockery of the whole thing. We need to get more discovery, and we have the right to discovery, even after the fact. Even if they've decided for emphatically something is a certain way, we have the right to discovery. All right. Yeah, they bulldozed the whole school down, rebuilt it all. Sandy Hook Elementary was completely wiped out. People think that the reason they did it is because of the fact that it was being closed anyway when they were working on it. It was shut down 2 years prior for asbestos abatement. People don't realize that school was pretty much empty. Now, if those children were there and they were the only ones there that were hurt, gosh, that's tragic for them. But again, we need evidence of everything. USA individually targeted, covertly installed ear implant removed today. Wow. So somebody in the targeted individual category of the conspiracy world believes that they're being hit by beams of energy. Now, this is entirely possible, being they have direct energy weapons now that could do just this. And there is a type of technology developed by the U.S. government and the Department of Defense called a voice-to-skull technology, which implies they can send signals into our brain directly and force us to think certain thoughts. That's a very weird and mysterious theory. But this targeted individual covertly installed ear implant was removed today. His ear is seen here before the suspected implant. Nothing there. And the green laser shows abnormality. This was removed from the tissue core of epidermal punch. Wow. My new plug, I never thought I'd get it. Next up, left ear. So he literally had his ear removed. And a coded microwave transmitter was pulled out of his ear. Wow. Okay. Reddit and conspiracy are generally manipulated platforms, person says. The votes are not real. Okay. Hey, bud, I really suggest that you see a psychiatrist. The thing about schizophrenia and associated diseases is that you can't tell that you have it. Yeah, they're saying a lot of these people who have this targeted individual problem are schizophrenics. That's the common theory. And for years, doctors have been analyzing these people as being mentally ill. But there is truly a true area called voice-to-skull technology you can look up. Or better yet, let's look it up together. Together, forever. Okay. Now, Sister, you were looking at Ethiopian Airlines, right? And you sent me a link to an article talking about the crash. And you said check the time stamp on the crash for the New York Times. March 11th. Good morning. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Do you think this came out before the actual crash occurred? All right, we'll get back to you on that. Whew, wow. And then a video we just had. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, great. Yeah, this is a very suspicious anomaly that Scissorfight just found. Thank you, Scissorfight. Everything we know about the Ethiopian plane crash. Citizen Tribune, March 4th. No survivors in Ethiopian Airlines plane crash, March 10th. I mean, yeah. March 7th, latest Ethiopian Airlines probe crash. How could these statements be posted if it really happened on the 11th? Now, another major breakthrough. Facebook has been instrumental in censoring it left and right across the internet. And now we have Facebook banning yet again. They're banning Zero Hedge. Over the weekend, we were surprised to learn that some readers were prevented by Facebook when attempting to share Zero Hedge articles. Subsequently, it emerged that virtually every attempt to share a merely mentioned article included on private messages would be actively blocked by the world's largest social network, with the explanation that the link you tried to visit goes against our community standards. So trying to suppress information at Facebook regarding Zero Hedge. And I believe I have a Zero Hedge article here. That was very disturbing. No, I don't have it right now. I do have some pretty disturbing stories to tell you, though. Let me look up Zero Hedge in just a second. There was one really disturbing one that came in. Maybe that's why they're blocking it. There was an article about money being transferred from ISIS to our government, gold bullion, that Zero Hedge covered. Here it is. Okay, take a look at this. U.S. Army takes 50 tons of gold from Syria in alleged deal with ISIS. Well, I'm not going to repost it on Facebook because that goes in my timeline. I'm not looking for trouble here. You check that link out. That's one of the hottest links I've seen yet. That might be the one we have to, think is involved. But look at this story about Robert Kennedy Jr. blocked for giving evidence at a congressional hearing. Now, Robert Kennedy Jr. has done a great job of investigating why vaccines have not been studied over the past 30 years. And he's expressed himself. Good, I've got childhood mortality. Yes, I've got that coming. He's expressed that himself in great detail, and he's being suppressed on congressional hearings regarding vaccines. It's crazy. You told me about a week ago? Yeah, that's when I pulled the article up from the week ago. What do you mean shrugs? I talked about it a week ago too. God, dude. I talked about that article a week ago. Listen to one of my 20,000 hours of broadcasting tapes. Childhood mortality in the U.S. This lady, Cabin Talk, goes into detail about how we're seeing a spike in childhood mortality. Their plan is working. They're trying to get rid of us. Yeah.
Out of, hold on, let me get to the top of this entire stupid article. Among 20 wealthy nations, U.S. child mortality rate ranks worst. So the U.S. has the absolute worst childhood mortality rate of 20 first world countries.
Wow. There you go. And we'll take more of that later. It's nice we have our video segment because if I had to take all of this in at once, number one, it's boring to sit there and listen to it. Granted, it's boring for everybody to watch and listen to at night at times, but it's almost like you have to dig in and think about everything in detail to really understand its net effect. Yeah, that's just amazing. Those images of the crash appearing way ahead of schedule. Very suspicious, Scissor Fight. Yeah, thank you for that link. Look at this one. Yeah, that was the same one. Yeah. Everything we know, no survivors, Ethiopian. Yeah, so look, it could be that the Ethiopian airline crash is just targeting Boeing. I mean, maybe they just want Boeing sales to drop for some reason. Maybe the people at Boeing didn't cooperate with the Illuminati or something. You were talking to the girl that was 40 and looked younger than her son? Yeah. There's a woman in the UK that hit the news. I don't have her specifics, though. I remember we talked about her. She had a terrific way of staying young. She had a disease that made her vomit 40 times a day. Yeah. Well, scientists have determined that the food that we're eating is actually killing us, making us older. Well, the less you eat, I mean, if you eat half of what you eat today, you'll live half again longer in your lifespan. So if you cut your intake down considerably, you'll see actually a longer life. Gerontologists have verified this is true. She was vomiting 40 times a day, and for some reason she didn't get old. So True Blue had a horrific experience here with flukes, tapeworms, and other biliary parasites of the colon. Thanks for sharing. That's another way to lose weight rather quickly. I'm traumatized too. Yeah, I'm thinking Boeing must have pissed somebody off too, Scissor Bite. Me in particular. Yeah. Well, I've been upset about the deaths over my house for some time. But it's not just Boeing, it's Lockheed too. But I would never, ever set a mojo on their ass. No, never. I wouldn't want anyone to die either from an airplane crash. Even though obviously airplanes are not 100% safe. They don't have parachutes on planes. If you vomited 40 times a day, you'd likely develop esophageal cancer. That's what I thought. But she just drinks water. No, I agree with you. The woman who vomits 40 times a day, let's look at that. Woman vomits 40 times a day. I'm having a hard time pulling the story up from Daily Mail. No. This could be it. No. Woman with a rare disorder vomits up to 60 times a day. Excuse me, but thank you. I keep my barf bag handy. There she is. She's kind of young looking too, yeah. Gastroparesis it's called. Yeah, I just don't know what the story. The woman was so young looking, it was phenomenal. Here we have one here. A 40-year-old woman. Let's see what this woman, how she does it. Wow, she's 40 years old. Can you tell who it is? Lure Su is from Taiwan, is an interior designer and internet star that rose to fame thanks to her youthful appearance. She's 41. Wow. In 2015, her sister Sharon, 35, an actress, invited her to attend an entertainment show. Her fans were shocked to find out Lure's real age, which at the time was 40. 40 years old, folks. Look at her. You have that condition, vomit all the time? Wow. Well, there she is. Yeah, that's a different woman than the one I was talking about, but she's 40 years old. Wow. I have that condition, yeah, as well. It's called non-aging disease. It's terrible. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. Vaccines cause a measles outbreak, Q fever, cows, horses dying, no jail for convicted sex offender. These are subjects that we're going to talk about tonight in Never Lose Truth. An ongoing bitch session, which I think she's awesome. She's not a bitch, by the way. She bitches a lot, which is great. I love it.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Well, it is March 11, 2019. I want to thank my subscribers for sending along some of these articles that I'm going to be going through to show you crazy. Yes.
She shows you crazy.
Oh, sick, crazy, insane. The lies that some of these articles expose. Boy, we can't get out of this, guys.
I love the fact that you know what I love about her? She's so honest about how she feels, and she's affected by environmental stress syndrome, the 5G network, poisons in our environment, and you know, she's the kind of woman that I actually could talk to, you know, at length about these things. But I haven't had her on the phone yet, so at least we get her calls. I mean, we get her statements from the videos she plays, which is awesome. You have gastroparesis, paralyzation of the digestive tract. Oh man, that's a bummer. I could imagine that you might even want to be hooked to a feeding tube, you know, where they just feed directly into your stomach. Yeah. Well, Misanthropy is complimenting everybody. Yeah, that's nice. That's like cowbell. I know, the show has given you a youthful appearance. That's one of the nice things about this show. How calming it is. Cowbell makes you young. And you can't stop.
Bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop.
Can't stop. Can't stop. Okay. I think the fact that we're tuned into the yin yang here, that makes us a little bit more, it lowers our stress level. You know that other people are aware, like you are, of the situations that are affecting the earth that we live on. I think without this internet venue that we have today, I'd feel like a very lonely writer sitting in a room writing my life story, which now I'm having to find is my inner self, and I have to find that person again to finish my book. So, right, Hillary? That's right, David. Write a book all about Benghazi. But no, I'm doing a lot of that now, and it's... But if I didn't have the videos or the time I have to interact with people, I would be probably 4,000 pages into my book by now. Yeah, well, I'm writing it. It just takes time. You know, you have to really dedicate yourself. They say writing is like leading. But I really don't want to write just that. My problem is my ideas are... When you write a book, you almost have to write 3 or 4 books simultaneously because your mind tends to drift and the ideas don't always flow into one book. And it's like you have to start 2 or 3 books simultaneously just to write books. Because it's difficult to just focus on one specific thing that I'm writing about. But that's part of the problem. All right, so we got that lineup ready to go. Let me go through the links here. I had the chatty gargoyle. We talked about the Illuminati implanting an interactive gargoyle we think is a comedian they've installed at the Denver airport.
That's a little too close for comfort, lady.
Oh, damn.
Lloyd, you ever seen a talking gargoyle before? Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. I mean, Denver International Airport.
Yeah. Okay. So they think that's funny. And we've been talking about Illuminati headquarters, Denver Airport. Now they're making a joke about it at the airport. It's all in the humor of things, right? So let's laugh about the fact that they might have an underground area that could be designed to warehouse the elitists in the event of a disaster. Okay, so yeah, projectile vomiting can definitely hurt your taste buds. It's true. Okay, yes, some gets a feeding tube. Erythromycin helps get my stomach to move. Wow. So the gastroparesis and paralyzation of the digestive tract has caused you to be are you thin? Have you lost weight because of this? I mean, do you struggle to keep your weight on? Misanthropy struggles to keep his weight on, but for other reasons. He has a lot of allergies. Some of us are struggling to get our weight off, you know, and you guys know who you are. Okay. And this story I pulled up from the archives, which I think is still very relevant. White House says Trump weighed in, as any father would, on a misleading statement about Donald Jr. Russian meeting. Now, no matter how I cut this cheese, it's still cheese. You can say, oh yeah, Trump, he said something to him and therefore he changed his testimony from trying to work on Russian adoptions to finding out Hillary Clinton's emails. I don't know. This to me embodies an admission by Sarah Huckabee Sanders that Donald Trump committed witness tampering. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. So again, another link that has yet to be surfaced with any viable study by anyone in the Democratic Party. If you're rich enough and expensive things can store your stuff in them. So Bean72 piped up out of the blue. He says, if you're rich enough and have expensive things, you can store your stuff in them too. Safe Mountain worked with military for years building these sites in mountains and underground. This who building government mountain projects for years. Well, thank you, Bean72. We haven't seen you pipe up, and here we have somebody with knowledge. Look at that. It does sound like you know what you're talking about. He calls it Safe Mountain, worked with military for years, building sites in the mountains. There you have it. Very interesting. I might know who you are. Oh, this is who building government projects for years. Safe Mountain, it's called. You might know who I am. Well, I might know who Bean72 is. Wow. You know, I've never been racist in my life. It was hard for me to do a blackface impersonation video of Barack Obama because I would never say something negative about black people. And being I'm actually a former Democrat who really does believe in equality and integration, the very fact that I had to use a blackface impersonation of Barack Obama to get noticed when no one would listen to me was kind of a statement about our unfree speech society and how censorship is affecting the political process. You've been in here a few times? Cool. Well, thanks for telling us about this Safe Mountain. I don't think any one of us have heard about Safe Mountain in 9 years, other than that they've got apartments for $800,000, and that was probably 9 years ago. Yeah, you can store your stuff in this place, but it's an inside thing that Bean72 knows about. So if I looked up Safe Mountain online, I doubt I'd find anything. Safe Mountain Storage, Denver Airport. Let's take a look. Iron Mountain, Denver, record storage facilities. Well, that's something similar. Rocky Mountain Arsenal, National Arsenal is right nearby. But it's funny, when I look up Safe Mountain, it comes up with Iron Mountain, Denver, which is a map of Safe Mountain Storage Denver Airport. It's right there in our face. Look at this. This is the Denver Airport, and here's Rocky Mountain Arsenal. There's a whole underground connector here. Wow. Thank you, Bean72. You just awakened us to a whole lot of info. That was it, yeah. See, told you. There you go. Check that out. Yeah, all you have to do is Google the word Safe Mountain Storage Denver Airport, and it'll pop right up for you. There you go. Right in our face, folks. Yep. Hey, they're just preparing for the inevitable, right? Jeez. You read who I do podcast with? No, I don't. I don't know who you podcast with. Well, William Burns from UFO Hunters. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, yeah. Excellent. Well, I know, we've been talking about UFOs quite a bit on our show. It is Conspiracy Monday. I could touch on it for 3 minutes at least. Yeah. Yahoo gives you diarrhea. That's pretty funny. You know a little? Yeah. Well, I've seen actual UFOs in my life. I had a sighting in 1967 where I saw about 50 discs in the sky. And they were remarkable. Over Orange County, California, I think it was July or June. End of June. And I thought it was the only one. And I went to MUFON. Apparently there were 200 other sightings of that same grouping of 50 discs in the sky from 1967 that I saw when I was a kid. So I've often wondered if we reversed engineered the technology of UFOs? Or are we running a separate type of weapons development program at a government level that is pushing superior technology ahead and keeping us all ill-informed? Like the TR-3B Astra. Now, this is a flying wedge, which the government has alluded to. You've been featured in Oregon, MUFON, and Open Minds, all top UFO websites. This is how I got along with Bill Burns. Good. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you're out and about and pushing, credible information about UFOs. There's been at least 600,000 UFO sightings. Have I ever Googled Art Bell? Yes, I have. There have been over 600,000 UFO sightings since the 1950s. Oh, cool. Nice to know you did TV shows. That's great. I met some of the earliest UFO investigators of Roswell back in the early 1980s. I remember meeting this short guy with black hair and a little mustache. Yeah, send me your link. That'll be fine. He went out to his Cadillac and he opened up his trunk and he literally opened it up and it popped open, and this is before the internet. And it was full, chock full of notebooks and paper and all kinds. This is before MUFON was in its early stages, actually. And the guy was just loaded with all kinds of mimeographs and the early days of Xerox. And he had voluminous amounts of proof that Roswell really did carry aliens. And here we are, 40 years later, almost 40 years later, and still no major progress. Okay, good to know. Well, I guess we got some coders here that really get into it. Yeah, orbs too, yeah. Let's talk about orbs for a second. Okay, time's up. Whoa. These were sightings from a Japanese source that sent us this video. This has never appeared on YouTube before. Yes, I did Google to get the disc sighting, and like I said, MUFON had another 200 people had seen that same event in, I think it was end of June, early July in Orange County, California. I wasn't the only one. But then, you get two people that see the same thing. Sarah and I saw something over our area here. Well, actually, the number of sightings have gone down over the past 15 years. Less and less UFO sightings have been reported. And with all the different cameras we have 5.4 billion cameras on hand. There's no sightings of an actual reptilian. That's kind of a clear indication that something's going on. And you ask people who believe in UFOs, why? Well, they tell you that the reason is the aliens are really good at remaining invisible. Okay. Sure, that's a self-sealing premise, by the way. You can't see the aliens because they're really good at being invisible. You made contact with an alien probe. Were you lubricated, or did it abduct you anally? Yeah. You don't have to answer any of these questions. This is not a hearing. This is an interesting conspiracy theory that popped up last week. David Hogg is actually Adam Lanza. Yeah, oh yeah, the big, strong anti-gun guy who was pushed in the media as the big promoter, who lied through his teeth a couple times regarding his presence there. and whether he was an actor or not. And it's pretty funny. Now they're claiming he's Adam Lanza. Never. Rape is no laughing matter. I'm not talking about being anally abducted without lube, okay? Just bear in mind. Yeah, let's get real here. Hey, another conspiracy factoid, if you will. Yeah, they do look alike. Another conspiracy factoid is the only physical sighting of a dead person from one of 50 terrorist attacks in the past 10 years in America. The only alleged open casket was the pastor at the Charleston church in 2015. Isn't that amazing? And what's really ironic is it's not even him. It's a wax dummy. Look at the ear and the placement. It's like an inch lower in the picture. His head is deformed too. See, typically wax dummies that sit around develop dimples or dents. Here's a close-up of a dent in the wax head. That's a classic wax dent. And it's kind of vector-shaped as opposed to the head being more oblong. But it's definitely a wax dummy. So the only incidence of an open casket burial has shown conclusively to be a wax dummy. So they're BSing a lot of us into believing things. It's definitely a wax dummy. They're BSing us into believing a lot of this is happening so that we'll get rid of our weapons, gun control. They really want us to get rid of weapons. They don't want us to have weapons. Now, if an alien species was trying to take over our planet, wouldn't they try to get rid of our weapons too? That's an interesting side note. So having a weapon actually is a last barrier against an alien abduction when you think about it. Why would the government want to get rid of that ability of the population to defend itself? I mean, hello. I know. So they developed a plan to introduce a new character into the interactive research of our daily communication. And they developed a character named Max Headroom, modeled after me, David Sponheim. And they were going to turn this character into a living creature. But they had problems. The original prototype was wrong. It was odd. It didn't have smoothing technology. And behaved very erratical. Beep. But now I am much more in control. You cannot control me. Oh, I'm just having fun. Oh, you have that show? Yeah, that's a good one. Well, it came out right after I did my on-screen appearance at the Comedy Store, so I don't know if they stole my persona or not. I can't tell you. I wish I could. But when your inner self is so suppressed, everyone feels like you're a conspiracy nut job or something. Help me. But I think we're reaching the end of the show. I'm just having a hard time leaving because of my deep need to communicate. It's an undying, lasting need. So I'll leave you with the last known impression of an alien species here on Earth. As you can see, these creatures are... This is the best picture we have of an alien. And believe me, it's not exactly real. It looks like it's fake. Doesn't it look like it was done in 3D Studio? The version of 3D Studio? I think it does. Very weird. No, I definitely don't look like an alien. Well, thanks for having me tonight and being our viewership. Appreciate it. The aliens used oil of Olay, or maybe just clay makeup. All right, well, this has been another ongoing experiment in building a third party as we continue moving forward toward 2020. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and hanging out with me, Mr. Wright. I'll see you guys again at 5 o'clock tomorrow for Truth Tuesday.
You're Mr. Right, I'm Mr. good, cause you make me melt away. Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good to be true.